Yeah. All right. Welcome to another episode of the Godly Business Podcast. Today is one of my favorite episodes just because I'm not talking to the camera by myself. So I do have a guest here. She is a business owner. She actually goes to my church. So we wanted to talk about what it's like to own a business, to run it in a godly way. So this is what we're going to talk about. So, Iliana, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for coming. Introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about you, how you started. Let's just chat.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Hey,
This is
well,
my
you
first
welcome to come back,
podcast.
girl.
So I can't wait. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I'm really excited. So yes, my business, I own a company called Ivy Creative, and pretty much it's all encompassing around content creation. So I work with a lot of local businesses for their content creation needs. So some people say, well, I just need shoots where I just want a lot of video coverage. Whereas other people are like, no, I want you to help me with social media management. So I kind of tiptoe between the two, but it's been a lot of fun. I started doing videos when I think I was 17 or 18, just with an iPhone. And I was just like, I love this so much. And with my first tax refund, I actually, used all that money, got me my first camera. And since then, I had been freelancing for, it was so crazy, it kind of ages me, but it's fine. I've been freelancing for 9 years. And then on my ninth year, I was like, you know what? I felt like I was really holding back on what God was calling me to do, which was help businesses and really start my business. And so I officially did my LLC. And so it's been a little over a year now in
Yes,
the
I
making for my
remember the
actual business,
conversation in
but
the
it's
group,
been a long time
right? And
coming.
then you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. So I'm so proud of
Yes.
you. And it seems like you like the thing I
Thank
loved about it. It's like you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. And then literally like the next week was like, bam, go, 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 go. I was like, oh my gosh, go
you.
girl.
Thank you. Yes, I literally all glory to God with that because that is so crazy and true. I just remember I was like, I do not know how I'm gonna get these people, and I just remember literally complete peace because at that point I had just left the 9 to 5, and so I am so big on consistency. I'm like, I have no idea what to do, but I'm just going into this full send with a lot of faith. And literally, there was one week where I just got hit with probably 3 or 4 clients, and then from there, I've been so blessed. Like everyone, pretty much, except for a few through Instagram, have been referral based. And so I feel really blessed that I've given people the experience where they want to come back and also refer
I'm
others
telling you,
too.
once
So
God
that's been
calls you
pretty
to
cool.
something, like you don't have to worry. Like that's one of the things I'm learning. It's like once
Yes.
he calls you out, he will provide. Now, a lot of times he doesn't provide the way we expect him to provide, but it's always for our good. So I
Mm-hmm.
just want to put it on record. I'm so proud of you for going for it and jumping head first
Thank you
and
so
just doing the damn thing, girl. Go.
much. Thank you
So,
so much. I
okay, so
really
now
do
you
appreciate
launched.
it.
What would you say, like, because, like you said, 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what was the, like, go? Because one of the things I realized with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of business owners is you have the seed and we water
Mm-hmm.
it, and then at one point it just shoots, right? So it's like we seem to, like, I'm going to think about it. And it's like, man, you could have started 9 years ago, right? So, what was that process like from, like, thinking about it to making the jump?
So I think the biggest thing, well, one, community. I would say community and support because a lot of the times we have things inside of us that we try to downplay, or maybe we're like, well, I know I love it, but I don't know what it's going to look like. And in my case, because I really valued consistency and structure, I was so fearful, and that was the main thing that I really had to put to rest, and I'm still putting that to rest a year and a half later. It's like business is never. I mean, the goal is for it to always give you this type of structure and consistency that you want, but a lot of the times it's faith. Like you really have to believe that things are gonna keep coming, and you have to work towards that in the interim. So I think the biggest thing was I just felt so fearful, but because of community and really a few people that are close to me, and one person who works at the church. I don't know if I can name him, but the pastor's son, he helped me and he was just like, you should do it. You're already doing it. And so I think having someone in my ear that's saying, no, like you really do have these things inside of you that people would benefit from, it really helped me see things in a more clear perspective. And I think I really had to get
Yeah,
outside of my head about it and think, yeah, Illy, like you have been doing this for 9 years. So what would getting it put
exactly.
in writing change? Like you're already doing it. So I think a lot of it was fear, and then also really understanding, like really trusting my value, because I think I before I'd be like I'm confident, but until you're put in a position where you really have to trust in things, then I feel like your
Hmm.
confidence is really tested. So I think it was a mix of those two. Probably I had to put fear and like I really had to trust in my confidence, and then also definitely having support and people encouraging me and
Yeah, I
reaffirming what I
definitely
had
agree.
already
And I
inside of
think
me.
what you said about community is very important because sometimes you down, like you said, you downplay the gift that God gives you, and sometimes you may not see the gift that God gives you, right? Because you may have multiple talents, right? Like I'm one of those people that have so many things I'm always interested in, but then I have, I remember the pastor preached on this a while back about I forgot the title of the message, but he was talking about it's something that's in your heart that everyone else sees, but it's in your heart as well. So that's something that
Mm-hmm.
definitely like I would 100% agree. It's like you just have a knowing that's what you're supposed to do, but fear is definitely one of those things, and I don't think it's a coincidence that God talks about fear so much because it is definitely one of the killers of dreams, right? Because I remember for even for me with
Yeah.
the podcast, I was just like, no, no, but I kept feeling like I have to do it, right? And then I was focusing on numbers, right? Like, well, if
Yeah.
God calls me to do this, that means I should have X amount of numbers. And it was like, no, I'm teaching you so much more
Yeah.
than numbers. So a lot of times we have to
Mm-hmm.
definitely, yeah, that fear factor is no joke. It's no joke. So
Mm-hmm.
trusting
Yes.
is the one thing, right? So how do you move?
Mm-hmm.
Because as
Yeah.
business owners, you be in the trenches sometimes. Sometimes things are so going well, and then other times
Yes.
I'm just like, God, like I'm gonna make it this month, and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and like sometimes
Yeah.
it's like by the like by a thread, make it by a
Yes.
thread, and you're
Yes.
like, God, did you call me for this? So how do you manage those like,
Yes.
feelings, especially a year and a half in? Like, how do you manage that?
That's a great question. I actually am still working through that. And so a lot of the time before, I kind of would just like my fight or flight is crazy. So I when I would start feeling it over the last months, like I would be completely transparent. Like throughout this whole process, I've been like applying for 9 to 5s and like trying to see if there's extra income. Girl, when I tell you, no door has opened. I've applied to over 50 jobs, and it has made me think, God, like where are you moving me? And I just realized he's not moving me. I'm supposed to be right here. And I think one of the things, and I'm believing that extra income will come when I need it, but it's like a lot of the times every month when I think about it, it's like some months I'm like, yeah, like super trusting and just, working hard. So I'm focusing on the work so much that I don't even have the anxiety. But then there's other months where it's like, yeah, like you mentioned, there's nothing. I'm like literally flying by the skin of my teeth. And those months are the months where I would be heavy on Indeed. I'm like, let me find a job. And nothing would open. And every single time it's left me in the same position. What am I supposed to do here? And one of the things that I've really realized, and I actually was just talking to a friend about this, I was sharing about how it's so funny, like building your own business. You think it's just you're going to go into it and you're going to help people, and that's true. But I realize it's shifting things and changing things within me personally, because at the end of the day, your business rises and falls on you. So if you don't know how to communicate, if you don't know how to delegate things, and if you don't know how to stop people pleasing, that's going to affect your business. And so a lot of the things that I feel uncomfortable with business are things that I have to work
Yes.
with my relationship with God. And so I think he really, really has had me in a season of, okay, like, one, you really have to trust me and say that you do. I'm not talking about have consistency and structure. I'm telling you, like, you need to love me more than money. And then two, I need to be able to communicate and trust in my value, my worth, so that I can serve people better. And then literally every single time that I have actually
Yeah.
been like, you know what, God, I'm surrendering this money to you, or I'm surrendering this fear or anxiety, I end up getting, like last week, I think I'm so thankful because it's been weeks where it's like just pretty much no, it's like a plateau. And literally last week, I have 4 people reach out to me, and I booked all 3 of them, and then one is pending. And it's just crazy. He will literally move in an instant. But I think a lot of it has to do with our heart posture and making sure that like we're really being like we're really having integrity with our business. It's like I'm not trying to have this business for money. I'm not trying to have this business to look a certain way. It's like, no, God, I'm giving you this business.
Yeah.
Wherever you take me, I'll go. And so I've really had to
Oh yeah.
get over my
That
pride.
ooh,
It's really
listen,
pride.
God has a
And so
way of humbling you because he says humble yourself. Because if I gotta
mm,
humble you, baby.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
he always starts with that is humbling yourself. But definitely I feel like starting a business, I have, again, I'm one of those people that has like, I guess you could say I'm very creative. So I've started a bunch of stuff, right? Started them, try this, try that, didn't
Mhm.
work, but learning lessons. But one of the things I've learned through this season of my life um, is don't do anything ahead of God, right? That was one thing, like, because sometimes he said go,
Mhm.
but he's like, I want you to go, but it's like, not right now, right? And then other time he's like, I want you to go
Mhm.
now, right? And then other time it's like, I want you to
Yes.
go at this pace. So it's learning to listen to
Mhm.
him and relying on him and trusting him. But that was one of the biggest lessons I had to learn is like that pride, relying on myself and thinking, like you said, that structure, like, okay, if I have a
Yeah.
system, I have this, everything should work out. And you got all the system in the world and it's crickets. Because, right?
Mhm.
And it's crickets
Yeah.
because you're thinking like, I got this. I got this. If I do this, and that, everything should
Mhm.
work out. And it's like, no. If you don't trust me,
Yeah.
right? It's like
No.
I'm the one that opens the door. And I forgot which verse it says, where it says like the Lord gives you the increase pretty much. Right? He's the one who gives you the increase. So you could
Yeah.
do all of the check all the box,
Mhm.
I'm like, what you gonna do? And then he's like,
Mhm.
no. And I feel like one of the first thing he does teach is to trust in him and not fear, but also like you
Mhm.
said too, is to work in integrity
Yeah.
because one of the things I'm very big on, but lately too, he's been teaching me, like you know how you were saying like things are looking
Mhm.
funky, God, I'm about to apply for some jobs. That was me multiple times.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm going to apply for some jobs. And he's been talking to me lately a lot about deception,
Mhm.
like a lot. And I was like, God, I'm not a deceitful
Mhm.
person. Like, what are you talking about?
Mhm.
So, like I said, I've been like, fixing up my resume, applying for jobs. And he's like, look at your resume. I was like, what you
Yeah.
mean? You know how, like, sometimes you fluff up. Yeah, he was like, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. I was like,
Mhm.
what? Yeah, but like when he's like his ways are higher than our ways, and his standards are high. And one of the first
Mhm.
thing he told me is if you feel like
Yeah.
you have to fluff up, which is deception, which is a lie. I don't care how you put it, right? Your resume is you are trusting in your own strength
Mhm.
to get this job. You don't trust me, and you don't think
Yeah.
that I see it, or like
Mhm.
it almost like you insulting me,
Yeah.
right? Because you saying, I don't
Yeah.
trust you, God, to handle
Mhm.
this. So I'm going to take matters into my own hand and do it myself,
Mhm.
right? And so
Yeah.
lately, that's what he's been talking to me
Mhm.
about. It's like in everything you do, everything you say, one thing he's told me, And it's like you hear the verse all the time and stuff like that, but it's like he made it so clear. He's like, you will have what you say. You will have what you say. It's like you will eat the fruit of your mouth. So I literally, every time I was gonna say something like, God, I don't know about this bill, like it's like just say thank you, Father, that this bill is paid. You don't know how it's gonna happen,
Yeah.
right? But it's like, thank you, Father, that I have enough
Mm-hmm.
clients for this month. You know what I'm saying? I did the most bold
Mm-hmm.
face move, I
Yeah.
think, when I was looking at my account and I was like, baby, this thing is looking skimpy. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, right? And it was like auto schedule all your bills. I was like, how I'm gonna auto schedule my bills? Ain't got no money. And auto schedule your bills. And I've done that, and I
Mm-hmm.
promise you that one time that I had ever had to overdraft because the money miraculously always there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I gotta move money from one account to another, but I
Yeah.
always have that. And it took me faith
Yeah.
to like do that, right? So I would say it's just,
Yeah.
yeah, speaking your words, and he will like make you face yourself in the mirror a
Yes.
lot of times. Like that you say you trust me, but do
Mm-hmm.
you trust me?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm like, I got
Yes.
$5
It's
in
so.
this account, and I have
Mm-hmm.
about $1,500 about to come.
Yeah.
With the math is not
Yeah.
mathing, God, and it's like, do you trust me? Yeah,
Right.
it'd
Mm-hmm.
be something.
Yes.
So your business is called IVC,
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's like the acronym IBC or long
Ivy
or
Creative.
government
So
name IB
why
Creative.
Ivy Creative? Is it your name,
Mm-hmm.
Creative? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's so funny, like over the last few years, and I went back, I think in the summer, I went back to my old Photoshop files and I've looked at the different variations of the name and like things even before I stepped into the business, which is so funny. It's like, it just reminded me, I can't remember younger Iliana doing that. So it's just funny, but I saw every variation and I had tried a few different names. And then I just remember last summer when I was getting ready to start the business, I was like playing around with different names and I was like, well, I don't want it to be completely marketing. I want it to be like more of a creative thing. So if I want to do photos, I can. If I want to do videos, or if I want to do social media management, I can. So it's like I kind of have leeway without putting myself in a box. And then yeah, I can't remember. I just remember, like, all I remember is last summer I was with actually my friend while we were setting everything up, and literally it just came to me, and I was like, that actually low key slaps. I'll go with that. So yeah, it stuck, and I created the acronym just so it's a little bit easier for people to like remember and things, but pretty much, you can call it
That's awesome.
anything
That's
you want,
awesome.
either one.
Did you did you
Hmm.
pray about it? Did you just like, I'm just gonna go with this one and then go?
So I don't remember praying about it. I definitely think because of how many different, like, at one point I was gonna name the business, or I was gonna name the, yeah, my business and my work Valiant Videography. I was like, I don't know about that one. Like, I love the meaning of Valiant, but I couldn't get
Mm.
myself to feel really set on it because once again it was like only highlighting video. And so I had Valiant Videography. Then at one point I had Ivy Video. That was the first name that I had years ago, which is so funny. So then when I was going through all my Photoshop files and everything, I just like remember sitting there and I had just like wanted to play around with my name. That was pretty much the big thing. It's like no matter what, I just want my name in
Yeah.
there, but like incognito. And so I don't remember praying over. I mean, I'm sorry, God, but I just remember I literally was just playing around with my name and then landed on Ivy Creative. And so, yeah, it's kind of crazy how things just like pop up in your head. And I think that it was divine in how I thought to even put those two
Yeah, I
together.
think
But yeah.
for me, one of them I prayed about, and it was
Mm-hmm.
once I have peace, I'm like, okay, because I'm I can keep dwelling on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I have trained myself to
Yes.
just make a decision, and I'm like, it's not the end of the world. You can always change it. Like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So that's one of the
Yeah.
things I had to learn in all of my testing of different businesses was I had to learn to be
Mm-hmm.
decisive, right? Which is a good leadership skills. I was like, okay, we're just gonna decide, we're
Yeah.
gonna go, and then we can always pivot if needed versus like
Yeah.
dwelling on things and trying to like, perfection and things like that. And I think that's one of the things also that can
Yeah.
stop people from moving forward in their business or moving forward with the decision to start their business is
Yeah.
like, I need everything to be perfect. I need
Mm-hmm.
all of the stuff, you know what I mean? And it's like, start where you are and then you'll get, you know what I'm saying? Because one of the
Mm-hmm.
things I've noticed too, I did this when I was
Yeah.
younger, like early 20s. It's like I would want to start a business and I would just buy all the stuff. Like, and it's like, girl, you ain't made not a dime. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why?
Yeah.
Why you spending so much money on stuff you not made a dime? And it's like you could use the
Yeah.
whatever the like you said, like I'm gonna use my phone. I'm gonna use my phone because that's what I got, and then learn and
Yeah.
practice. And then once you get one or two clients,
Mm-hmm.
then you spend, you upgrade as you go. So I've made that mistake of just like whatever, and then the mistake of like, oh my gosh, what am I? So now I'm like, okay, we just gonna move with it, and then we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna pivot if need be. But the other question I had, because I know you talked
Yeah.
about community and how that really helps you. So
Mm-hmm.
now we talked about, and in the months where like things a little strange, and you got to go to God for it. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you approach setting up
Yeah.
a plan to? Of course, we have to rely on God, but of course, God tells us to be diligent, right? So, and we talk about systems, and I think that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I teach a lot about and coach a lot about is having systems because systems help you. Because there's so many things I'm like, if it wasn't for my systems, I don't, listen. So,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of
Yes.
the systems
Mm-hmm.
that you put in place that you feel like, especially like, being a newer launch business, right? You have the experience for a long
Mm-hmm.
time, but being a newer launch business, what would you say is like three things that you would say is like these systems like help me a lot?
Mm-hmm. So I would definitely say the biggest thing would be like my actual business model, which that has taken me a long time perfecting, but it's given me the peace of mind, even regardless of whether it's super busy or not. It's like, okay, when that door does open, is like I know my client's gonna have a smooth process. So I would say that was one of the main things, like making sure that I'm creating a process that is easy for me to handle and for the clients. And so I pretty much spent I would say a few months, and like I said, still perfecting it, but pretty much creating different like funnels for
Hmm.
each thing that I'm trying to offer. So each service has a specific funnel, and that has helped me so much with building the structure because thankfully a lot of my jobs prior have really worked on that muscle of organization and structure. So I'm so thankful for that. So when I started working on this business model, I just thought, okay, like on the receiving end, if I'm the client, what are the steps to make sure that this is going to be the best experience that they have? So I would say that's the main thing. I don't know if I have three things. I would say the business model, like creating a really good foundation with your business model, has been the biggest thing for me. I'm trying to think what else I've done. Um, but I think that probably is the main thing because that has saved me in a lot of situations, even the business model
Because
and
I
contracts.
was gonna
Contracts
say
was
that. I'm
definitely
like, I
that
think you remember
structure.
me talking about making sure you got a contract. Okay.
Yes, contract for sure. And that, speaking of working on that and perfecting it, each time, even actually recently, lately, I've been like, okay, after I finish with the client, I'm like, all right, I definitely got to update this. And so the business model and the contracts for sure, those are the main two that I definitely have been like always working on it. But for the most part, when they have a good foundation, it's like no matter how you feel
Mhm.
emotionally, that stuff is in writing
Yes.
and it's going to keep you and your business safe. And it has, oh my gosh, and it
Yes,
still
that
is what has,
because
my God.
that's one of the things too with contracting evolving, right? Because you learn, like you're like, oh, I learned that the hard way. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna make sure I learn and update the contract. But you have no
Mm-hmm.
idea how many businesses that are operating and have no contractual agreement. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Mm, yeah,
it is gonna
it's
hurt
gonna
on the
hurt.
long run, unfortunately. And even for
Yeah.
myself, like now I say that I'm like, I should probably
Yeah.
write a contract with this person. Now I said that, but but yeah, it's so true because
Yes.
I think the easier you make it for yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, I always
Mm-hmm.
say I'm the point of having a business is for me to no longer be in the business, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
how do
Mm-hmm.
I was telling my boss that I try to automate my life
Mm-hmm.
everywhere I can, right? Yes, I'm a millennial, I know, like
That's good.
we love technology, whatever, but I'm like, why, if I can just automate it, why would I not automate it, right? So I think that also
Right.
helps. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely agree, like having a business structure, right? Having your overall business model,
Mm-hmm.
right, is helping. Contracts, definitely, definitely. Like, start with that.
Yes.
You ain't got no business model, start with the contract. Like, start with that.
Right.
I'm telling
Yes.
you. Like one of the things I learned to add on my contract, and this is a free tidbit because my sister's an attorney, and I never thought about it until like I updated my contract and I sent it to her, and she was like, "You don't have any I don't know the legal term for it, but pretty much, let's say you have a contract that's in Alabama or something. I don't know why I thought Alabama, but whatever. Let's say you have a contract in Alabama, right? And then there's a dispute or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. If your contract says your state is primary, right, and your county is primary, now they have to file it
Mm-hmm.
in your state, which makes it easier for you because now they on your territory, if that makes sense, right? So that's something I never thought about, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so as soon as she told me that, I was
Right.
like,
Definitely.
update that, So that's a
Wow.
tidbit, include that to, yes, include
I'm
that so
taking that.
that, God forbid nothing happens, but we do live in a very litigious
Yeah.
country. And everybody and their mama likes to sue.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So that was something like I've
Yes.
never thought
Yeah.
about it until she mentioned that. So yeah, definitely I would say just start
Mm-hmm.
with your contract,
Yeah.
whatever. But also making clear what your services offer, I would say is one of those things because and
Mm-hmm.
make it in a way that it's like understandable, like no big jargons, like plain and
Yeah.
simple, because especially with like
Mm-hmm.
social media and like the expectation versus the reality are different, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think early,
Yes.
I want to say like 2010, 2011, I I decided I'm going to try my hand at social media marketing, right? To do SEOs and ads and Facebook ads
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. That was like almost everybody and their mama was trying to get into that space. I was like, why not? Let me try it. Girl, first thing I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, people don't understand this doesn't happen overnight. Like when you're running ads, like you're trying to
Yeah.
build, especially like the sun is in my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like depending on what you're trying to do, there's like it takes time, right? Especially SEO and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And setting the realistic
Yes.
expectation with your clients
Mm-hmm.
and like making them aware of like what that process looks like, what that transition looks
Mm-hmm.
like and stuff. So that was one of the things I was like,
Yes.
yeah, it's not for me because I'm exhausted and just trying to explain this whole thing to you because you're thinking it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
happen like this and it doesn't, right?
Right.
So that was it was like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
doing it.
Yeah. Yes. No, that is so, yeah, I definitely understand that because that's actually a few months ago, I had a council call and this is a great testament to making sure you have
Hmm.
everything like crystal clear for people. But on my website, on my Instagram, at that point, I had been pushing the wording like video marketing. And then there was a few other things I reworded, but in general, at that point I had a consult call, and I get on the phone with this guy, and he's a local business owner, and we get to talking. And one of the things that I always emphasize is like, my company is meant to help you really build content and create content that people see and they're like, wow, like it builds trust, and it also makes the client feel like, or the potential customer feel
Mhm.
like, dang, I really want to try this out. But I don't want to get into the space of SEO and ads and marketing where you're going to get a return of investment. You're not going to get leads from this immediately. And then if you do, it's going to take some time. And so I have definitely tried really hard to get away from the
Mhm.
actual marketing side of things. But I just remember I was on the call with him, and he was telling me what he needed. And he was like, oh, after I shared, I was like, well, I could definitely assist you with content, but one of the things that might be a little difficult is I'm technically not offering anything that has to do with a specific like ad running or marketing where you're gonna get leads from it. We don't have leads funnels or anything like that. And he was like, oh, I thought from your website that that was something that you offer. And I said, well, we do offer social media management, but it's a little bit different than what you're interested in. And so finding ways to really make it clear as day for people, okay, you might offer social media management, but make sure people know this is for the business owner
Yeah.
who doesn't have anything on their social right now. They're not looking for a return on investment. Technically, they just want to show up. And so I've really, I mean, it's difficult still trying to find the right wording, because it's like, well, I don't want to say that I'm marketing, but if I don't say I'm marketing, they won't know I offer the service. So it's been like a tick for tack type thing. But after that call, I just remember I got off the call with him. I was on my
Yes.
website. I'm like,
Because
let me
that
update this. I'm
sorry,
not
I'm
doing
trying to
this.
fix this thing in my eye. But yes, definitely, right? Because it's like I we walk in integrity, right? I don't want to say I'm
Yes,
going to offer your service that you're thinking you're getting,
yes,
and then at the end of the day, it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth because you're like, well, I thought this, right? And it's like that
right,
miscommunication. It's like I know
right.
that's what you thought, but that's not what it is, right? That's why you need to clarify.
Right.
But for me, it's like that is what I was offering, but understanding that this is something that is
Yes,
gonna take not 2 weeks, not even a month. You may have to do this, and then like you
yes.
said, build your funnel, and you know what I'm saying, you're gonna start seeing this maybe 6 months out or 3 months out, or and Facebook have
Yes.
keep changing their rules, and Instagram keep changing their rules, so it's harder and harder now, and you have to spend more to get that same return from like a couple
Mm-hmm.
years ago. So like, yes, that was one of the things where I was just like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I want to do this because I feel like I find myself having to explain this
Yes.
a lot. And I'm like, I'm tired. That's not what I
Yes.
want to do. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Right. Yeah. Same. Yes,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
definitely being clear on like, okay, this is what I offer. This is, you know, yes, that's definitely another thing. And then also too, it's
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yes.
like talking about integrity, like do not take in clients that
Mm-hmm.
like for me, I'm big on this. Like if I know like my quote unquote competitor is better at offering this particular service and you come to me, I could offer
Mm-hmm.
it, I could do it, but can I do it to
Mm-hmm.
the best, like when this person is the best? Like I have no problem of referring you to them. I'm
Yes.
like, yeah, you probably should go to this person.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it, but I'm gonna give you
Yes.
maybe a 5 or a
Mm-hmm.
7 out of 10, where this person will give you a 12 out of 10. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's hard to
Yes.
get that
Yes.
across to people. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like there's plenty of business out there for everybody, to not to feel like you have to like get everybody, and everybody's not for you, right? And I'm like, how much more is it that I
Right.
refer you out and then this person is like, oh, that's cool, then they can refer to me, right? That's syn- I forgot what it's called,
Mm-hmm.
but synergy, right? It's better than like trying to like
Yes.
get, right? So that's something else that I had to learn. I'm like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, if I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. And that's the beauty about owning your own business, because you could say no to
Yes.
people. right? Like you could
Yes.
on paper you good.
Mm-hmm.
Like Miss me and
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Jefferson was talking about that, right? Like sometimes you like the Holy Spirit, like, you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
do business with this person. And then you like,
Right.
oh, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
good, like, not all money is good money because uh
Yeah.
with all the love and
Mm-hmm.
respect, I'm quick to fire a customer because my peace of mind
Yeah.
is
Mm-hmm.
topmost, right?
Yeah.
So,
Very important.
have you ever
Right.
been in a
Mm-hmm.
situation? I know you pretty
Yes.
new officially, but in a situation where you had to be like, "Thank you, but no thanks," and how did you navigate that?
Yes, that actually while we were talking, I was like, wow, I really have learned that the hard way because and this happened throughout my freelancing too. I felt a lot of people pleasing. Like I felt like, well, two things. Either I want to take this because I don't want to disappoint them, or two, I know that they want this with a certain amount of money that I'm willing to offer my services for. It just might not be the quality that they want, but I take it on anyway. And now it's so funny. Now that I'm a veteran, I'm always like, I don't want your blood money because it's true. I ended up doing that for so long. And I realized it ended up being blood money because the people I was taking on, I knew that I shouldn't have taken them on. But out of people pleasing or because I was like, well, it's quick money, I took it and I ended up paying the price for it. And so now I'm super like, I just had a call yesterday and I was like, she shared her thing. She had a few things that she mentioned. And I said, okay, well, I will let you know. I'm the type, I'll review it. But if it's not something that I can do or I feel like there might be a better fit for you, I'll refer you out to someone who I referred four or five people out to. And they have had great experiences with her. And so, really getting myself in a position, and that's one of the things that I mentioned earlier, is business has taught me so much personally, like personal things that I didn't know that I needed to work on. You do need to work on your communication and
Mm-hmm.
your boundaries. And I have really, really worked on that with this because I got burned so many times trying to take it for quick money. And it's like, you don't want blood money. What you want, like you mentioned, is like the right client for you. And you'll know. Like, you definitely know. You'll have peace on whether you're supposed to take them or not. And yeah, I've definitely turned away quite a few, or I've paused a lot of people, or not a lot, but some clients, and just saying, hey, like, I'm not able to take this on, or I don't have the availability because I know that I wasn't supposed to take it in general. And so, yeah, definitely getting to that point. I will not lie. I definitely have hit my head on it a lot. Just that
Yes.
of like, I'll just take everything. I'll just take everything. And it's like, no, like, you take
Mm-hmm.
everything and you're going to feel the world
Yeah.
of it. Like, you're really going to feel it. And so I've
Yes.
definitely gotten
And
my character development
for
with
real,
that.
for real. Because I do think business, a lot of times I feel like God puts you in the business to learn definitely about yourself and shape who He mean
Yeah.
for you to be. Because that's exactly, it's like it's easy money, but it's like, I know I can't do exactly what you want me to do. So I rather not, do it. But also,
Yeah.
too, like in the marketing type of world, it's like, certain businesses I don't want to do business with it because it goes against my values, right? So it's like I can't do a
Yeah.
marketing to promote a strip club. Like, that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't
Yep.
align with my Christian values. And it's like, letting people know upfront,
Yes.
like, this is a Christian business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're
Yes.
gonna see my verse on my website. So
Mm-hmm.
the moment you step in, be
Yeah.
careful what you ask me for,
Mm-hmm.
because it's probably gonna be like,
Yeah.
a no. And I'm gonna, like you said, I'm gonna be like, okay, thank you for reaching out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna review, what you say, and then after that,
Mm-hmm.
like 2, 3 hours later, I'm gonna email you back and say thank you so much, but unfortunately at this time I do not have capacity to
Mm-hmm.
take on this project, but I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
That's it, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, you know
Yes.
what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah, not all money is good money. And it goes back to the
Yes.
trusting thing, right? Because then, again, we're like, I'm going to try to do this
Mm-hmm.
because I want this, or I need this. And it's like, you're not trusting God to give you,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, the
Yes.
right thing. For me right now, I'm in the season of like trusting,
Yes.
but you know how like you have so many things and you feel so heavy at times, and you're like, what is it I'm supposed to do? And you like, what's next, right? That's where I'm at right now. I'm like, what is next? And you like not hearing anything. Like, how do you move with that? Because I've been like reaching
Mm-hmm.
out to people who are obviously ahead of me in Christ. Because I describe myself as a toddler in Christ. Because I'm like, I'm just getting this. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not a baby,
Same.
but I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I was like reaching out to them, and a lot of times they're like,
Yes.
do whatever the last thing he told you to do is what you're supposed to focus on. And I'm just like, I'm
Mm.
not even sure I understood what the last thing I was supposed to do. So, how, does that happen to you?
Mm-hmm.
And if so, like, how do
Yes.
you navigate that? Because I'm trying to figure it out.
Yes. So I actually, during the summer, June, July, and a little bit of August, I really, really was taking a mental hit because of my business, found like what was happening in my business. And it was getting to a point where I felt like I wasn't hearing from God. I felt like I was not supposed to be doing it. Like I mentioned, I had been applying, nothing was opening. And it was really getting in me emotionally, like, it was like, you're messing in my head. I thought you're messing everything up and you're not fixing anything, and like this is why X, Y, and Z, and all of it literally tied to how my business, nothing was opening up, and it was very difficult for me. And I actually, it was affecting me so much mentally that my 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 man, he was like, you need to talk to the pastor. And so I ended up talking to Pastor Zelfia, and we sat down, and like I shared everything with her. And I think the biggest thing, whenever you're in a position that, one, if you're already a naturally empathetic person, or maybe you just feel things, or you're sensitive naturally, it's like when you put that into business, you need to be
Mm,
very careful on how you harness that. And I think I've had a struggle of, when things do hit the fan, I would always get into this
yeah.
mindset of, oh, you're doing a bad job. And it's like I've had to realize my value is not coming from my business. My value is not even coming from the clients that I have. It's literally all coming from God. And so I sat down with her in August, and I'm so thankful that I did, because she mentioned having a stand on scripture. And now it's so funny. Every day I always have my Bible and my journal on my bed. So every morning, every night, I always have my time where I'm having quiet time. I write down everything that I'm feeling. If it's good day or bad day, I'm writing it down. And whether it's about business or not, it has grounded me so much. And I feel like by having that stand on scripture, I've been able to every day be like, okay, regardless of what's happening, regardless of what's coming in or not, I'm good. And God has really helped me. He really has provided that peace for me, that regardless of what's happening, He's got me. And so I would definitely say the biggest thing has been, apart from making sure that you're still working even when there's nothing happening, is like, as long as you're still working on your business, you're still trying to fix things in the interim while everything is kind of slow, you need to just as much make sure that you're in the word and genuinely spending time with God, so you recognize, like, my worth is not coming from how good I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pride thing, like I mentioned before. It's like I realized so much this summer, is like, Illy, your value has been how you're helping people, and how they love you, and how you're able to service them, and how well you do in your
Performance
success. And it's like
based.
those are all tied to things
Yeah,
that
like
were planted
so,
in
and
innocent.
my therapist,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm very much like a doer, if that makes sense. And so my therapist happened to be
Mm-hmm.
also be a pastor, and he was talking to me about
Mm-hmm.
uh, how sometimes trauma informs you. And so like you feel like I'm good if I
Mm-hmm.
perform. If I do well, then I'm worthy. If I do these
Mm-hmm.
things, then I'm worthy, right? And one thing he told me that was
What's
like
that?
blew my mind. He was like, um,
Mm-hmm.
a baby, right? Can they do for themselves, or do you have to do everything for them? Are they still not worthy of love?
Mm-hmm.
Are they still not worthy of like all those things? And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, yeah, they are. But they don't have to perform or do anything. They get all of those things. And so, yes, definitely. And like the business world, right? You feel like, oh, if I'm not hitting all these markers, then um I'm not good enough. I'm not listen. One of the things that humbled me, girl, that thing. So I'm a sales coach that launched a sales course a couple years ago,
Okay.
and I sold zero.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Talk about like I felt humiliated. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, am I supposed to do this? Like how you're a sales coach and you ain't sell nothing? Like I was like when I tell you devastated,
Yeah.
I was just like, this is not for me. I don't know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing. I doubted myself so much, and it was just like you still trying to measure yourself by what you do and what you perform, and that has nothing to do with you. And that changed me a
Yeah.
lot to where now, as a coach, that is one of the things I talk about, like not aligning your worth to the numbers, right? And the same thing when I started the podcast, and I felt like God told me to start the podcast, and I was like, okay, God, if it's you, I'm gonna do this for a
Mm-hmm.
year, and if I see these numbers, then I'll know it's you. And I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
getting the numbers, so I was like, I guess it's not you. So I
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
And it's like, even though I wanted to stop, it was like
Mm-hmm.
I literally like he would not let me rest, like continue doing it. And I was like, but I'm not seeing the numbers. And it's like, you're measuring it based on this stick. I
Mm-hmm.
don't measure stuff by this stick, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like,
Mm-hmm.
stop looking for these superficial things to like measure what
Yes. Yeah.
worthiness is, right? And also what I realized
Right.
is in coaching people is especially women is when like we
Mm-hmm.
talk a lot about rejection, but it's not a rejection, it's an objection to
Mm-hmm.
your offer. They objected your offer, but you
Mm-hmm.
saw it as they rejected me, right? And so, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it is trauma based as well. It's like if they don't want this from me, then they don't want me myself. And having to like coach a lot around that,
Right.
it's like I'm objecting to this offer. I'm not rejecting you as a person, right? And that's a lot of what also deals
Yeah.
with the fear of like putting yourself out there because you feel like, oh, if I'm not successful, if I make this offer to this person, if I reach out to this person and they say no, that means I'm not worthy, that I'm not this, I'm not that. And all of those are like trauma things,
Mm-hmm.
right? That you literally have to
Mm-hmm.
purge out of yourself. But I also, the one thing I realize about sales is if you stick with it long enough, I don't know if you just build an armor, but you just realize that no has nothing to do with you. Like absolutely nothing to do with you. The person ain't got the money
Right.
right now, their business is slow, especially like, B2B, right? So you in the B2B space. It's like
Mm-hmm.
their business is
Right.
slow right now. They need this, right? So they need it to,
Mm-hmm.
to move forward, but they just ain't got the money. So right now it's not a good time for them. So definitely with that whole performative, like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, if this is not whatever, I'm gonna be, and it has nothing, it had nothing to do with you at all, right? So it's just reframing our mind
Mm-hmm.
around that, like
Yeah.
you worthy regardless. You know what I mean? You could have no
Mm-hmm.
business. Your business could falter
Yeah.
tomorrow, like, and then the crazy thing is
Yeah.
how we let our emotions like run us.
Mm-hmm.
Last month I was doing this
Yes.
fast, and when I tell you I felt like during that fast I got delivered, and it was like a weight, like when I tell you it was just like instantly I felt it. And I used to like filter
Mm-hmm.
everything through, it's not a bad thing, but mine was bad. Like I would filter everything through my emotion and literally let my flesh and emotion drive me to do things. And so after the fast, when I tell you I felt like this automatic like relief, like, and things that like, let's say
Mm-hmm.
I had a fight with my husband or something, and like my mind I'm just like, this is what this means, blah blah blah. It's like it had nothing to do with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
like that man
Yeah.
wasn't even what, you
Right.
know. And then when
Yeah.
I you know what I'm talking about.
That's me.
You laughing because you know what I'm talking about.
I'm crying. Okay.
It's so
But yeah,
true.
no, I
So
understand.
then
So
it
yes.
was just like, oh, and I realized like, uh, again, going back to therapy, it's like sometimes you hear the stuff in therapy and it's like it doesn't click. But for some reason, that day when we were praying and fasting, like
Hmm.
it clicked, and literally it was just like it almost like a demon left. Literally, I had clarity, and it was just like,
Yeah.
whoa, like
Wow.
your emotions are, it's like walking around with rose colored glasses and you thinking the whole world is like this and it's
I
not. And
get
it's
it.
like to have
Yeah.
that clarity was like a whoa moment. But definitely how like the devil definitely can play on your emotions to make you feel a certain type of way and then walk away from your dreams, walk away from your calling, because especially nowadays we're in a
Yes.
season of like people being offended so easily, and God literally said do not take
Hmm.
offense. And in this season of people taking
Yeah.
offense to everything, like you are closing up so many doors that God had for you because you're taking offense to things that you shouldn't be even
Yeah.
thinking about. So yeah, be encouraged, girl, because I've been
Yeah.
there. But when I'm telling you, it like the
Hmm.
performance thing is huge for a lot of people, including women, right? But
Yeah.
no, your worth is
Hmm.
not in that at all. Because I'm telling you,
Yeah.
literally, one day I'm like, Lord, where's the money? The next day I'm like, raining down money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, like, are you
Yes.
today you worth it, but then yesterday you weren't worth it? Like,
Yes.
it's so ridiculous when you think about it, right?
Yes. Oh my.
But the baby thing really helped me to like, they
Hmm.
don't
Yeah.
perform. They are worthy within themselves. Like, they cry a lot, they
Hmm.
poop a lot, they do whatever.
Yeah.
They are still worthy of
Yeah.
love. So, yeah, I hope that helped.
Yeah. Yes, no, that's so good. And it makes me think, like, while you were sharing everything, it made me think about how probably, I think it was
Yeah.
2 months, September, oh my gosh, time's flying, but 2 or 3 months ago, I was having quiet time and I was literally writing down, I was so frustrated with myself. 'Cause I was like, dang, like, I just feel like I feel things so deeply, like, so intensely. It's like when things feel heavy, it's like I can't stop. It feels like I can't stop it sometimes. And I just remember I literally was sitting down writing everything I was feeling, and it kind of just like, I don't know, I just could not get that heaviness off of me. I was so upset. And while I was having a quiet time and praying, I literally felt the Holy Spirit tell me, like, your sensitivity, I'm using that. And so it shifted my mind, thought like my mind in my process of thinking like this thing that I thought was bad is like, no,
Mhm.
I'm using this for good. It's like your sensitivity is how you're able to work with clients the way that you do. Your sensitivity is the way that you're able to love people the way you do, even without business. So it's like these things have really, I mean, and I won't say that I'm thankful right now. I don't know if I'm thankful yet that things have hit the fan a few times, but I am thankful that like I really have been pushed to a place where it's like your emotions and your sensitivities, they're valid. You're okay to feel
Exactly.
them, but you need to control them. And I don't know if I would have worked, like, I don't really know if I would have learned that had it not been for my
Oh,
business and
girl,
like
wait till you
things
get
happening
married.
where it's like, no,
It.
really, you really need to slow down. Right, right. And and I will say, I mean, being in a relationship already has definitely been like, wow,
Wait till
I'm
you get.
tripping.
I
So,
feel like God gives you the like.
yes.
God will give you the person that will bring out the things in you that you didn't even know existed. And then if you do have children, they will also
Yeah.
bring things out of you that you didn't even
Mhm.
know existed. And at first
Yeah.
I used to think it was a bad
Yeah.
thing, but it was like, no, this person is holding the mirror to
Mhm.
yourself. Because like this
Yes.
this pastor put it this way, it's like your person is like you become one, right?
Mhm.
But they become one in the sense that they hold a mirror to
Yeah.
you and showing you like all of your
Mhm.
flaws. And I was like, I thought I was perfect until I
Mhm.
got in a relationship. I was like, girl, Lord. Serious. I was like, I don't do nothing wrong. Then you get married, then you like, whew. Okay. I need you, Jesus. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's so true. I was like, yes.
that's
So I'm telling
amazing.
you, like,
Wow.
you think you're seeing it
Mm-hmm.
now. Once you say I do, I promise you, once you say I do, it's like God is like, now you see. Like the thing unveiled and you like you see
Yeah.
things. And boy, talking about grace, teaching me how to be graceful and to give grace because
Yeah.
I talked about this on one of my podcasts where I
Mm-hmm.
was just like my husband did something and I was just like, oh my gosh, and blah 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 in my head. And then God gently reminded me, didn't you do the same thing
Mm-hmm.
last week? I was like, why are we talking about me right now? Huh, God? I'm talking about him. Okay, why you you know? But he
Yeah.
always so gently
Mm-hmm.
reminds you of like
Yes.
give grace because you not
Mm-hmm.
you don't got it all together. But yeah, I don't know how we got on this subject,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, Mar- marriage will
No.
will show you yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's so true. And that literally reminds me, it's so funny you brought that up because it reminds me of devotional I was reading. I think it was the Fruits of the Spirit devotional on the Bible app or one of those. And it literally said, and I low key, I definitely empathize with you on that because I read on there and it has not gotten out of my head. I literally read it in the summer. It said, we should be giving people grace because think about how much grace God has given to you. I literally think about that anytime somebody pisses me off, anytime I get upset, even
Oh
with
God, you
myself, like
froze,
anytime something's weird.
girl. I switched to my phone because I was like, the nerve, just cut.
That was funny. I was like sitting there, and I don't, it looks like it's still recording, so you'll probably see I'm literally just like sitting here, like looking at the screen.
I'm sorry. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, my internet just kicked me out all week. This week it's been happening, and
Mm.
Comcast has been at my house so many times.
Oh
It's
wow.
yeah, I live in the boondocks. I feel like, which is
Mm.
not the boondocks. I live by the like the airport. I'm like, come on.
Oh, okay. That's funny. But yeah, no worries, no worries at all.
I'm sorry, girl. I was like,
No
oh,
worries.
oh
So
my
where
God.
were we?
You were talking about giving grace.
Oh yes, yeah. So it just reminded me of that devotional I was reading, and it's really helped me help really bring me down to earth. It's like whenever you think that you're not going to give that person grace, just remember God, how much grace God has given to you. And like you said, it's like God gave you grace for you when you did it 2 weeks ago. So why are you going to do it to them or not give them or withhold that grace from this person? It's just not okay. And so that's really good and very true.
Yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
definitely shows us, and also to give grace to ourselves, right? Because it's like you're
Mm-hmm.
not perfect, so
Yeah.
you're not always gonna get it right. You're not always gonna do things perfectly, and I feel like a lot of times we're more ready to give grace to other people than
Yeah.
we are to give grace to ourselves. Like it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you should have known. Like, well, you know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely something that I have to work on, and you know, and
That.
it is a form of pride too,
Yeah.
right? Because then we're like, how are you supposed to know? You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? It's like you did the best you could with the information you had at the
Yeah.
time. So just give yourself grace, right? And especially in businesses too. You I feel like it's a when you have a business, I feel like it's a PhD course
Mm-hmm.
on learning how to navigate life and people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because yeah, because I was like, my husband always jokes that he's not big on people person, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, you do realize having a business is all about people, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You could be an introvert or extrovert,
Yeah.
whatever. You're gonna have to deal with people. There's
Yeah.
no business because every business has to be rendering a service or
Mm-hmm.
selling a product still is rendering a service. So
Yeah.
you still have to have deal with people, which can be hard sometimes because it's like, sometimes I don't feel like peopling.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like peopling. I
Yeah.
just too,
Yes.
and I don't know if I'm an extrovert or introvert. I feel like I'm a mixture of both because sometimes I love being around people, and other times I'm just
Mhm.
like I just want to be by myself,
Yeah, yeah.
all alone. Like, you know what I mean? So yes, you definitely. So what would you say is like your viewpoint on customer service? What does customer service mean to you? What does that look like to you?
So I actually think that it's not more important than the service that I offer, but I think it really is kind of like writing. Yeah, I would say it's more important than what I offer. I think especially with what I'm doing where I'm working with local businesses is like one, I don't want them to feel like they're just most marketing companies, they just want your money and they have so many like a huge pool and of course they have the bandwidth because they have a huge team, but generally it's like they have so many clients that you're just one of a million. So it's like I feel like what I want to offer my clients is this experience of like one, I want you to feel like I really do care about your business because I do. And so making sure that they have that regardless. And there's some days I agree with you 1000%. It's like, man, because I'm definitely, I would say, in a mix of both would be an ambivert. I definitely feel like I'm kind of the same, but I teeter more on the introvert. It's like, I don't want to talk if I don't need to. But customer service is like, you need to show up and, I actually learned this muscle when I was really young, probably my first or second job. And I just remember my mom shared with me, she's great. She went to school for like HR and things like that. So I watched her, how she communicated, even like writing emails. And she would always remind me no matter what you're going through, when it comes to work, you want to be giving them an experience where they have no idea what's going on in your personal life. They have no idea how you feel about them. And you are just coming up being professional and really having that level of customer service. And I'm so thankful she taught me that. And like I've learned that muscle over the years because there's been plenty of times where it's like, man, I don't have the timer to be dealing with people, or maybe I have so much going on in my personal life that it's like I don't even want to show up for the client that is showing up for me. It's like you really have to keep yourself grounded when all else fails. Is like, and it reminds me even when I have referred people out, I've had a few clients come back to me that I referred them out to someone else because I didn't think that I was going to be the best fit for them. But because of another project they had, they came back to me because they were like,
That's
I had
good.
such a good experience with you and you showed me that you really cared and I wanted to come back. And so hearing things like that, it just reminds me you could have the best business in the world, you could have the best structure in the world, but at the end of the day, the biggest things for humans is connection. And
Yeah.
if they don't feel connected and trusting in you, they're not going to move forward with you. And so that has been, I would say that's the biggest thing, especially with the niche that I'm in, is regardless of what we're shooting, is I want you to feel like you, like, one, we have a good connection, and two is like you feel like this person actually has your business, like the best interest for your business. And so that's super important to me for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely say I've had you ever had experience where the product was not that great, but the person is just so lovely that you just want to support them,
Yes.
right? And it's like I've had that, like I'm not gonna mention names, but like,
Yeah.
like at the Riverside Arts Market,
Mm-hmm.
it's like there's some people, it's just their energy is so great, they're
Yeah.
just so loving that it's like I don't need this thing that you're selling, I don't
Yeah.
need it, but I'm just gonna buy just to support you because you're just so lovely and so radiant with joy. And then
Yeah.
you have people like their product is really good, but I'm just like your arrogance is just
Yeah.
so off-putting that I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to deal with you. And
Yeah.
I've had that too in a lot of like restaurants where it's
Mm-hmm.
like the food is good but your attitude is so horrible, I'm not coming
Mm-hmm.
back, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen jokes online where people are talking about the worse their attitude is, the better the food is.
I'm crying.
Right. It's an inside joke. It's like if you go to a Jamaican restaurant and they're nice, their food no good, no good. They gotta be real sour mouth,
Yeah.
mouth No, you don't. That's not true. That's not true. But I have to say, I have noticed that though. Like, it's like your food is good, but I'm like, your attitude is so bad
Yes.
that I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't think I still I don't want the food anymore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm like, I don't want the food anymore. But
Right.
yeah, I do think the customer service aspect of it is it's an art because there I remember, again, I've been in sales for so long, but like I remember this person was like, I love the way that you say no to me so many times without ever using the word no. It's like, he was just like, I just love how you do that. You just told me no in multiple different ways, but without ever
Yes.
telling me no. I like that. I was like, I didn't realize I was doing that, but okay. If you like it, I love it. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just that's a way to handle like, a situation. Like in the job that I do, a lot of times I have to give, unfortunately, people bad news.
Yeah.
And it's in the way that you do it that you
Mhm.
give the bad news. And also one of the things I learned a long time ago is customer service is customizable,
Mhm.
right? I realize culturally, certain things I can do with one customer will be
Yeah.
very offensive to another customer. And
Mhm.
this customer, like, if I approach him that in that manner, they would not receive it well. Versus this customer, if I approach them in the same manner I approach that customer, they're not
Mhm.
going to receive it well. And I think that's a key difference in like peopling is what I call it.
Mhm.
Like you have to read the room and
Yeah.
understand like people, right?
Mhm.
So I'm not, even though yes, I offer the same exact service and the same, right? It's about the value, right? And we
Yeah.
often talk about value in this like product or service that we offer,
Mhm.
but the value is also how I present my offer to this person
Yes.
because that person is not gonna be um demographically,
Mhm.
if you will, like culturally,
Mhm.
like age, right? There's
Yeah.
a way I'm gonna talk to an 80-year-old that I'm not gonna talk the same way that I do to like the 25-year-old,
Right.
right? And I realized that early on, when I worked in corporate, and it's
Mhm.
like I can kiki around with the 25-year-old, and like
Mhm.
he or she will be on board, they're cool, they
Yeah.
whatever, and then they'll buy. The
Yeah.
other person, I'm gonna have to have a completely different
Mhm.
whatever. And at first, I used to think like, oh, am I being fake? But it's like,
Mhm.
I'm not being fake. I'm just
Yeah.
talking to my audience, keeping my audience in mind when I'm
Right.
speaking because I can't be talking to an 80-year-old and be like, no cap. You know, I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Yes.
They're like, what
Yes.
are you talking about? Right? I'm like,
Mhm.
cap. What?
That's so true.
No. Side note. The first time I heard that term, I was like, what? That was me. So, so I can only imagine, right?
Mhm.
So, like, yeah, I think customer service also has to take that into consideration. It's
Yes.
like think of the fact that you're talking to a person because I could tell you, should I name the company? There's a, well, I already said it. Anyways, the internet company.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you call the people and you're like, I'm gonna need you to not read your script,
Mhm.
to stop and
Yes.
think, use your brain,
Mhm.
okay? And listen to what I'm saying,
Yes.
right? And it's like what you're telling me on your script versus what I'm saying does not match. Stop
Yes.
reading the script and put your thinking cap on
Mhm.
and think for a second,
Yeah.
right? Sorry, I'm a coach too, so that's sometimes how I talk to my to
That's good. Yeah.
I'm like, think, put your thinking cap on. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Does that make sense? Based on
Mhm.
what I just said, does that make sense? No, it
Yeah.
doesn't. No, it
Mm.
doesn't. Take your time to think. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
a lot of times I feel like in customer service, that's something that's, I don't say often time, but like a lot of time is missing because
Yeah.
like you're thinking, oh, one size never fits all.
Mhm.
Never. Even
Mm.
in the customer base, setting, one size never fits all. You have to be able to like read the room and
Yeah.
just be like, okay, you know.
Yes, that is so true. I definitely agree with that because it's so funny, like me and my friends, of course, there's the term code switching, and you can't, but we really do. It's a real thing.
But that's one of the things I was saying. I'm like, it's not necessarily code switching, right? Because we
Yeah,
know what code switching
yeah,
is. You know, there's
right.
that. There's code switching, but there's
We're the
also
tier
like
under.
reading the room, right? I'm like,
Yes,
it's not code switching if I'm like, I usually wear sweatpants at home, but I'm going to a wedding and I wear a gown. That's not
right,
code switching. That's
right.
It's appropriate for the room I'm in. I feel like code
Yes,
switching is like you completely turn to a different person to assimilate and present
yeah,
a different face. I feel like that's what code switching is. And I've
yeah.
talked about this a lot, and I used to do it,
Uh-huh.
and I don't do it anymore. I'm like,
Yeah, this is it.
this is it. Like, I'm not, listen, I'm like,
Yeah, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
yeah, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be professional, and I'm big on being authentic.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
I'm big on being authentic, and I feel like as you know, one of the slogans for my business
Mhm.
is mastering the sales conversation, but also being authentically you. Like,
That's
people
good.
think like you have to switch and be a, like, you have to have a certain personality to be a salesperson. You have to, like, it's, you don't, like, I don't have to sell the same way this person sells, because that's not authentically me. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that. So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily code switching, because I used to code switch and I was like, I'm tired.
Yeah, we've definitely joked about it, just the term in general, but we definitely have our own way about it. But 1000% dealing with customers is like you really need to know who you're speaking to. And even so, like with the younger, well, one thing in general, depending on how long you've been in business, one thing I'm recognizing is like I don't, for the most part, maybe I'll change it up a little bit, but I keep the same professionalism in general, whether it's a 25-year-old or a 50-year-old. I will literally still be, not give like Chick-fil-A customer service, but kind of just like I don't want them to see me cut up a little bit more and then I might lose my value since I'm a like baby business owner. It's like I don't want to lose my value as a
Mhm.
business owner because you think I'm too close to earth. So
Yeah,
in that way, I still definitely keep it like how I talk to you when
no,
I get
sure.
on the phone. Of course, I'm not.
Yeah,
And so that's been one thing that I've realized is like I definitely will read the room and make sure that I'm talking to this person the way that I feel based on their energy and how they are, and maybe even how old they are, they should be talked to. But sometimes when you're early on in your business, I'm heavy on, hi, may I help you? Like,
yeah,
and so, yeah, we
with the
definitely,
voice.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We could definitely do that. That's no problem at all.
Yeah, yeah. I I I totally get it. Like, the only time I see my voice change really when I'm
Mhm,
talking to the customer,
mhm,
there's something about like older folks that I'm just
mhm.
like, it's not in a disrespectful way, but I feel like they're babies.
Yes,
That makes
yes,
sense. And
yes.
like, I'm super, like, I don't talk slow, but I
Mhm.
change my voice. I change my demeanor. I try to
Yeah.
enunciate my
Mhm.
words, and
Yes.
I'm trying to like be super patient. Like, I purposely like slow down and be
Mhm.
patient and like, you know what I mean? So that's
Mhm.
the one time I could say I definitely like, just, I'm like, and I'm like, oh, mm,
Yes.
not with this person. Just gonna be like whatever.
Mhm.
So yeah, but again, it's still like to the audience. But
Yes.
yeah,
That's
but I get what you're saying, right? Like, in a professional setting, there's a decorum that you need to have, and to have
yeah.
the type of conversation. Um, but I'm like, I'm still like 100% me. I talk with my
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's the CEO. I'm still gonna talk with my hands. That's
Yes.
just, you know what I'm saying. I'm not all of a sudden just gonna be. I don't even know where to put my hands, because my hands are talking.
Right.
That's part of my whole conversation. Like, interview,
Yeah.
my hands are talking. Presentation, my hands are talking. Coaching,
Yeah.
my hands are talking. Like,
Right.
the
Yes.
whole time. So like,
Right.
you know.
That's so good. And yeah, that's literally that's what will not only get people to your business, but also it's how you retain them, because it's like they feel like, oh, I'm not just talking to Ivy Creative, I'm not just talking to this consulting business. No, like I'm really talking to the CEO, I'm talking to the founder. And it's like they have a heart for me, and they also have the personality where it's like, wow, they actually, you have a lot of charisma. You really, really love what you do. You're passionate about helping people, and you're not trying to put a mask over and try to
Exactly.
show something different. It's like, no, this is you, and you still can do it efficiently. And that's
Exactly.
actually something I've like, man, the last few years, even when I freelance, I struggled with like showing all of my personality, because I felt like if they saw me be goofy, if they saw me be silly or cut up or do anything, it's like, oh, you think that I'm not smart. And it's like, I've learned to be very, very conscious of, look, you can still show up as you. And I still would joke, I'll still be silly. Normally, I wait till the shoot. So once we're in person, but
Yeah.
in general, it's like, you can still show that, but also be mindful that people are very, very human. They are habitual too, so they're not used to seeing people show personality, especially
Exactly.
if you have a big one. And so when they see that, a lot of the time people might label you as, oh, you're silly, so you're not smart, or you just are ditzy, or this, that, and the third. And it's like, no, no, no. I'm very creative. I'm very articulate. I'm very knowledgeable about what I'm giving you. I just like to have a good time. And it's like,
Yes.
that has been a very refreshing thing. And I think also your work speaks for itself. So there's
Exactly.
that level of aspect too. So it kind of gives you a wiggle room so that when you are silly, they don't think anything of it, because they're like, oh, no, she's still doing her thing. And so
Yeah.
that's been a really, really cool part about like, I really struggled with it a few years ago, but now it's like, no, actually, I'm gonna show up normal. I definitely am still code switching. Of course, not the full, not the legal definition of code switching, but I
Yeah.
definitely am still gonna read the room and everything. But in general, it's like I'm still cutting up, and that's part of why my customers or my clients love me, is because you're giving them, you, like you said, you're doing your hands, doing everything. It's like nothing has changed. I'm just giving you a service on top of my own customer service with you. So it's that's why I literally think, and maybe it changes based off of like where you work or what you work in, but I think 1000%, at least what I'm doing, customer service is top tier. Like it trumps everything, because who cares if you're the best in the job? Like if you're the best, and like you said, you're cocky or you are just arrogant, I don't want to work with you, because why would I? You don't have my best
Nobody
interest
wants
at
to work
heart.
with that
Yeah.
attitude. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny because like in any capacity, like I work a lot with attorneys
Mm-hmm.
and the different personalities, and it's I'm I'm in a position where I can make things so much easier for
Mm-hmm.
you, right? But then
Yeah.
I'm in a position where it's like, oh, you want the
Yeah.
code way? I'm gonna give you the code way.
Yeah.
That's what you want, but it's like you don't get that like I'm still gonna be professional, I'm still gonna
Mm-hmm.
do what I'm supposed to do, but I'm gonna stay by the book,
Yeah.
versus the person that's like, have a different type of attitude. It's like, you know what, I'm probably can do this for you.
Yeah.
Do I have to? I know I don't have to, but I can
Mm-hmm.
do this for you. I can make this a little bit easier. I can make this a little faster. And it's true what they say with like you get more bees with honey, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like reading the room, yes, and it's like we're still in a professional arena, but it's
Yeah.
like you talking to another human. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of times when you get to a certain level, unfortunately people forget the human aspect of it. So
Yeah.
in the beginning people are like all about, because you knew you want to get the clients, you want to, so you show up differently.
Mm-hmm.
But then what tends to happen, and I hope it doesn't, and I pray
Mm-hmm.
you don't become that person. It's like now
Yeah.
you have the team, like you're
Mm-hmm.
expanding, you have the 20, 30 employees, and now
Mm-hmm.
everybody's just another number, right?
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
so I think that's the difference between like, keeping, and that's why also you need God, right? Because then the Holy
Yeah.
Spirit will check you on certain things and be like,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am,
Yeah.
go back, you know what
Yes.
I'm saying, and like retract, and like
Right.
do certain things differently, because that's not how we do things around here.
Yeah.
you know?
1000%. Yeah, that's so good. And yeah, that's really the hope. I never want to lose that
heart and that personality no matter what, because that's always been my biggest pet peeve with marketing companies. Oh my gosh, it's like, dude, like I don't want to feel like you're just sucking the money out of me. And then oftentimes those companies, they charge so much. So it's like to give people, especially local businesses, this service that could be comparable to that marketing company that has 20 million, but I'm a team of one, maybe two, because I contract out for certain projects, is like that's a huge experience. And like they're not going to get that same experience. And so the hope is, and of course the prayers later on, God willing, if the team grows, it's like we still keep that level of, no, this is a down to earth company. We're not just
Yeah.
treating you like we're sucking the money out of you. And then also it's like, this is such a funny thing that I've been thinking lately, which is so random. I don't really like, I think I spent so much time with the LLC, thinking on it, meddling in it, wondering if I should do it. And then recently I'm like, I feel like I started this LLC specifically with businesses in mind because they don't have access to the most money in the world. So it's like to give them video content without them having to literally pay $10,000, that's huge. And so I was thinking the last few weeks, and I'm still sitting on it. I know a few people who have nonprofits, but I'm like, you should create something like that, like an actual nonprofit organization where it's like you are specifically
Oh
serving other
no. Did
businesses.
not freeze again.
Oh no.
Okay, you're back. I was like, what?
Oh my gosh.
So you're thinking of creating stuff for nonprofits?
Yes, or creating a nonprofit where it's specifically geared to helping businesses with their video, where they don't have to worry about, okay, like it's going to be $10 million. It's like, no, you are going to meet people who have a heart for you, have a heart for your business, and they're going to create you high quality content. And so that's been something that I've been thinking about lately, and it just goes back to the heart of everything. Like, why are you doing anything that you're doing? Whether it's your friendships, whether it's your relations, like everything that you do, you should have a purpose behind it, and a true purpose behind it. And so, yeah, it's been very, very, very challenging. I will never ever downplay how challenging business is, but it's been really good and rewarding in that it's taught me so many things that I think you mentioned it before. It's like there's things that I'm learning and changing and like noticing about myself. Just like you said with marriage, it's like, man, I didn't know I had this. And it's like, no, you do. And business has definitely revealed that to me. And so I'm very thankful for how things have played out, but still learning, still growing. So we'll
Yeah.
see what the next year comes with.
Yeah, business and marriage, I feel like are very similar because they are covenants, right? They are both
Yeah.
covenants, they are both contract, they are both agreements that you make. And the
Yeah.
kingdom of God works in covenants, and
Hmm.
it's very, very serious. And I do feel like they bring the best out of you for better or worse. Uh, you know, for you to
Yeah.
do the things that you're doing. So is there any project that you're working on that you want to let people know about? That, how to get in contact with you, how to connect with you, how to do business with you. Let me know. Let us know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So right now, my focus is definitely, before I would kind of teeter totter on like taking just like shoots here or there, things like that. But right now, I am focused on really helping local or small businesses with content creation. So if anyone is looking for video services, I do offer services for like events and things like that, and that's what I contract out. But if you are a business owner and you're watching this, or an entrepreneur, or you know someone that is looking for video services, I would definitely say reach out. We'd love to have you. I can be reached at ivcjax.com, and you can fill out a submission form, or ivcjax on Instagram. Just send me a DM, and then we can get you set up for the consult call.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'd say the best person to do business with is somebody who is led by the Holy Spirit. So
Yeah.
definitely she is led by the Holy Spirit because I'm telling you, we're just having the conversation and I was like, that's my girl. Go get it, girl. So, so I'm just so proud of you and
Thank
thank you
you.
again for taking the time to speak with me and taking the
Yes.
time to do this. This was definitely fun. We should
Yes.
definitely do it again if you have time.
Yes.
I will put your links and information in the description box. I will also send you like clips if you want to post them. But it
Awesome.
was definitely fun. And I hope you guys learned a lot about business. I hope you guys learned a lot about what it takes to do the business, the challenges, and how you pretty much have to trust God and trust that your worth is not described on your performance, but on God. That's what we mostly talked about and realized in this conversation. So I hope you learned a lot. And as always, if you have questions, ask me. But always remember that the Holy Spirit knows everything because He will guide you, teach you, and console you in the way that you should go.
Yes.
Well, without further ado, thank you so much. You have a blessed day, and I'll send you all the links.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was great. I loved it.
Yes, we should do it again. I would have
Yes.
continued if I didn't have to go. But
No worries at all. That sounds great.
all right, awesome. Well, you have a blessed day. Okay, I'll send you all the links.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right, bye.
Bye.